Hey guys, before we get started, I just want to mention that if you're already working on area and perimeter numbers 2 and 3, don't worry too much about what the computer is telling you about your score. So that's the problem when a computer corrects your work for you, is that, if you're off by one decimal place or you rounded differently in certain spots, it'll just mark it wrong. So I have to look through those pretty thoroughly, and when I do that, I will get back to you as to what your actual grades are. And I'll be making some videos like this for you so you guys can see how they're pieced together. Now, these can be done in quite a few ways, so I'm just going to show you how I interpreted this. But we're going to start by finding the area, and I'll work on the perimeter in another video, but let's just start with the area. There's a couple things in the directions that are pretty important. The first thing is that it's made up of two identical rectangles. So that means that this rectangle is identical to this rectangle, and it has two identical quadrants, which means this quadrant is the exact same thing as this quadrant. And that's going to be pretty important as I go through this, because if they don't tell us those things, I end up making assumptions, and we can't make assumptions in math. So, all right, let's start with this. I'm going to start by finding the area of this rectangle right here. Now we know that to find the area of a rectangle, we just need to know its length and its width. Well, we're in luck right here. We know its length, but it does not tell us our width. Not on this side, and only partially on this side. It only tells us that this part right here is 0.6. So I got to find out how long this dotted line is right here, and we're in luck. Okay, so it says that the dotted line is 1 centimeter from here to here, which means, because they're identical quadrants, that it must be 1 centimeter from here to here, it must be 1 centimeter from here to here, and it must be 1 centimeter from here to here. So let me pencil that in. Now, if this is 1 centimeter and this is 6/10 of a centimeter, when I combine those two together, I get 1.6 centimeters. It's 1.6 centimeters on this side, and because it's a rectangle, it's 1.6 centimeters on this side. All right, perfect. That means I've got a length and I've got a width for this rectangle right here. Let me do length times width to find out what the area is, and it ends up being 3.84. 3.84 centimeters squared. There we go. We're really a fourth of it done. If there's 4 pieces that I'm trying to find, I just got one of them. That was pretty quick. Two identical rectangles. That means if this rectangle is 3.84 centimeters squared, this one must be 3.84 centimeters squared. All right, sweet. Now we're halfway done. So we got 2 of the 4 things that we're looking for. Let's see if we can find the area of this guy right here, this little quadrant. So the way that I looked at it is, in my mind, I tried to see the entire circle. Okay, so that's what I was imagining right there, what you see in that dotted line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find the area of this entire circle right here, and then I'm going to divide it by 4, because I'm only looking for this 1/4 of that circle. All right, so let's see if we can do something with that. I wrote down a few formulas that I know I'm going to use often, and I'm going to use this one right here. Area equals pi r squared. That's the area formula for a circle. A equals pi r squared. A equals pi. Let's find the radius of this circle. It looks like it's 1. Oh, that's going to make the arithmetic really easy. Awesome. And that means that if I follow order of operations, 1 to the second power is 1, and 1 times pi is pi. So the area is going to be pi. But let's round that to, well, this is in 2 decimal places, so let's go to 2 decimal places as well. We'll call it 3.14. All right. So that means this entire area right here, that entire circle, the entire area of that circle is 3.14. I don't want to know the area of the entire circle. I just want to know what 1/4 of it is. So I got to take this guy and I got to divide it by 4 to get that shaded region right there. Let me do that real quick. Give me a second. 3.14 divided by 4 is 0.785. So we'll call that, divided by 4, 0.79, just rounding. Okay, So that means that this has an area of 0.79 centimeters squared, and because they're identical quadrants, that means this one must also be 0.79 centimeters squared. Okay, last step is to add up all of these numbers. All right, so I'm going to go down here, and again, you can take 3.84 and multiply it by 2 if you want to. There's a lot of different ways that we can think about it. But for my brain, I love seeing all 4 of these things right there. It just gives me some confidence that I haven't missed anything. So I'm going to go on my calculator real quick. 3.84 plus 3.84 plus 0.79 plus 0.79. And it ends up giving me 9.26. All right. So the total area, this total area, everything that you see in blue right here, all of it combined is 9.26 centimeters squared. There you go. Now, if this were being submitted on Schoology and Schoology was correcting it for you, who knows what would have happened? Maybe they, with the way I rounded in this spot and the way I rounded here and the way I rounded in all these other spots, the final answer could have been 9.27, 9.25. A lot of things could have happened. So again, don't put too much weight into that. I'll make sure you get the feedback that you need so you know if you're doing this right. But hopefully that made sense. And check out the next video to see how to get the perimeter.